Shalom, Hashem Na'aseh v'Natzliach. Thank you all for coming. And we are in the Sefer Olam Hamidot, the last segment about Olam HaChesed. Okay. Sorry, as we are trying to figure out how Chesed works. That a person needs to create unity. Through that unity, a person will be able to reach the level of Chesed that he should, Be'ezrat Hashem, be able to achieve. And we said that Baruch Hashem, the truth is that we do possess within us a lot of the great attributes. We are the children of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and we are Rachmanim b'nei Rachmanim, right? We are merciful people, the children of merciful people. And you see it, Chas v'Shalom, someone is in trouble, right? Right away, everybody is filled with pity and mercy, and they do whatever they can to help the person. And when a person pays attention to someone else's situation, someone else's needs, for sure he'll have mercy. Unfortunately, the thing is that these days we don't pay so much attention to other people's lives, other people's problems. The Torah writes, "Ki yihyeh becha evyon me'achad achecha be'achad sha'arecha be'artzecha." When you will have a poor person, from amongst your brethren in one of your cities, in your land, that Hashem gives you, lo te'amet levavecha. Do not harden your heart. Velo tikpotz et yadcha. Don't close your hand. Right? Me'achicha ha'evyon. From your brother, the pauper. Right? Meaning, what's the Torah trying to say? That a person naturally, right, wants to give, naturally wants to help him when an ani comes to him. But he has the ability to harden his life. He has the ability to close his hand, and the Torah says, don't. Just stay natural. That's what the Torah is saying. Right? Again, it says, Lo ta'amet levavcha. Do not harden your heart. That means that naturally your heart would not be hard, but you don't make it hard, right? Not to have pity. Right? The Torah says, don't do that. Let your heart have pity on that person. And automatically what's going to happen is you will open your hands. And if you pay attention, in the same pasuk, twice it says achicha. Right? Then at the end it says, Lo tikpos et yadacha me'achicha evyon. Twice. To tell you that you know why you should have pity, you should have mercy, because that's your brother. He brings from Rav Kalish something that it's interesting, I never paid attention to. In Parashat Mishpatim, the Torah says, Im chabol tachvol salmat re'echa. If you, this is talking about if you lent money to someone, and you're not sure if the person is going to give you back the loan, so you say, listen, my friend, give me something to make sure, it's a collateral, to make sure that you're going to give the money back. The Torah says, don't take away his simla, don't take away his clothes. Why? Give it to him until the sun down or sunrise, depends when he uses it. Why? This is all he's got. This is what he needs for his skin. Right? How is he gonna, what's he gonna sleep with? When he cries out to me, I will listen. Because I am merciful. The Torah is teaching us, it's amazing, that it's not enough to return the garment to him. You need to pay attention to his situation. Because the Torah goes on and explains more and more. The Torah should have just said, just give it back to him. But no. Right? This is his clothing. This is what he needs to wear. What's he going to sleep with? What's he going to have? Meaning the Torah is awakening us to pay attention to this. It's not enough, okay, Chazak Baruch here, take tzedakah. You need to pay attention to see, what the other person actually needs. Parashat Shemot, we are introducing Moshe Rabbeinu. The Torah brings a few different stories to introduce Moshe Rabbeinu to us. And it says, Vayigdal Moshe, Moshe grows, Vayetze el Echav, Vayar besivlotam. Rashi says, what does it mean? Vayar besivlotam, he saw their suffering. He says, Natan einav velibo liyod metzer alehem. He gave his eye and his heart to be thinking of them, to be in pain upon them. Right? So what does it mean? It says, Vayigdal Moshe. Moshe grew. You know what's his greatness? You know what's his gadol? How he showed that he was an Adam gadol, right? A great person, because he felt that responsibility for everyone else. That's Vayigdal Moshe. Vayetze elechav, he goes out to see, and he sees their suffering. He started paying attention to them. He started suffering with them. He started having empathy, right? He says, this is what we need to do. Come out of our own little tiny, tiny, tiny world and to look and pay attention to other people. Then this is going to be Zeh Katan, Gadol Yeh. This little person now became great. This is greatness. When a person comes out of his own little box and pays attention to those around him. A person naturally cares about his own things a lot. His own needs, whatever he needs, he really cares more. Even if they're not such important things, little things, but for him they're important. He wants to buy new clothes, right? Or to go to a certain place. For him, these are like, whoa, I gotta do this, I gotta take care of it. But in reality, not such a big deal. These are not what make or break life. But when it comes to other people's needs, especially the little things, to him, okay, who cares? You want to buy clothes? Go buy clothes. What do I care? It's not so important. Why? Because we naturally don't pay attention to other people's feelings. So he's saying that, a person that wants to grow in chesed, he needs to pay attention all the time, right? He needs to pay attention how I would feel in such a situation. Someone is telling you something, you put yourself in their shoes. How would I feel in their shoes, in their situation, if I was there? Then you would know that it's not such a small thing, after all. And many times we're so into ourselves, we're looking at our own needs, we don't pay attention to someone else. Prime example. This Ruvain wants to go to a wedding. Okay. And he had spoken to his friend Shimon. Shimon says he wants to go to the same wedding, whatever it is, an hour away. Okay, so they spoke about it. He's going to give him a ride anyway because he's going that direction. Right? Okay, perfect. The day comes, so Shimon, the driver, calls. He says, I'm so sorry, I can't take you to the wedding because his wife is not feeling well. So Reuven says, oh, come on, please, no problem. Don't worry about it. It's okay. What can we do? Bye. That was it. What happened here, this conversation? Reuven is totally concentrating on himself. Right? Oh, no, I have no way of getting to the wedding now. Right? He doesn't even stop to think, and then he starts calling other people. Oh no, I'm messed up now. I don't have it right. So, so he starts calling here, calling there. Are you going? Are you going? He didn't even stop, to think about the Shimon, poor guy. He was also about to go to a wedding, right? Stop, ask him what's going on. What's happening with your wife? Can I help you? Wife is sick wife, sick home, sick life, everything. Hello, did he stop and think about this Shimon for a second? That he can't go to a wedding? Who's taking care of their kids? Who's taking care of them? His own tiny trouble, right, is a lot more important to him than his friend's thousandfold trouble. He says, and it happens all the time. Happens all the time in day-to-day life. He says we gets even better. There are some people that they think that everyone should be taking care of them. Everyone else should be taking care of me. And they don't want to do anything for anyone else, right? And whatever everyone does do for them, they're like, big deal. Didn't do that much. They didn't do anything for me, really. But what I do for them, it's always great. I always brag about it. Oh, I did this, I did this. And when you listen to him, didn't do much, but it is what it is. This is, again, people are self-centered. People are like thinking like, it's me. My Mashiach used to say, farzich. Farzich means for me. He used to call them farzichniks. That's what they were. Like, it's all me. Everything is for me, right? And there are some people who are so drowned in their own needs. So they're so into themselves. So they need to go talk to Reuven. Reuven is carrying a conversation with someone else. He doesn't care. I come first. He just jumps right in the middle of the talk without even thinking. There are other people here. This he was talking to someone else. No, he just goes right in and cuts right in. Again, why? Because the people are thinking about themselves only. It's being self-centered. And this actually is the opposite of what we started off in the beginning, where Rav Chaim Volozhin said. Rav Chaim Volozhin said a person was not created for himself. The person was created only to benefit others. Right? And we need to pay more attention to other people's little things, little worries, and to belittle our own self in our own eyes. That's what it is. That's what he says. He says the person that wants to work on chesed needs to always pay attention. What does the other fellow need, right? And how can I help him? Right? So he says, he writes one time when he was a bachur in yeshiva, I guess, he needed 5 shekel, right, for traveling on a bus, and he only had, he only had 20 shekel. So he says a 20 shekel bill back then. Is it still bill 20 shekel, or did they change it? The 10 they changed, right? 20 shekel. Who knows? I don't know. We haven't been there a while. Okay. Anyway, so back then he only had 20 shekel bill, but he only needed a 5 shekel to travel. So he went to his friend, and he says, "Could you please give me change for this?" So the other fellow said, "No, but I could give you 5 shekel." Right? What happened here? What happened was he could have just said no. But he stopped. He saw someone else in need and gave him a solution. Right? There's 2 ways a person could go. Like, you don't have. Bye. Shalom. Lech yashar. But it's no, but I could give you 5 shekel. He says it's amazing. How many people, how many times does it happen? People ask us for something and we don't have, right? That's it. We stop right there. I don't have. We don't stop and think like, okay, maybe I could help you some other way. Maybe I could find you someone else that has it. But this bachur, right, he thought himself like, why does he need change for the 20? Because he probably needs the 5 shekel for the bus, right? I don't have enough to break it for him, but I could lend him that money. This is called bringing yourself out of your own little box and thinking bigger. Famous story about
he did good, right?
What?
He did good.
He did great. Of course, that's chesed. A famous story about the Beit HaLevi, right? The Beit HaLevi is the Greece, right? Rav Yosef. Not the Greece, I'm sorry, Rav Yosef Dov Soloveitchik, the Beit HaLevi. And they say, famous story, they say it different ways, and it works. All of it is, all of it works. The message is very clear. A person comes to ask him a she'elah before Pesach. Can a person do the mitzvah of 4 cups with So he told him no, whatever he answered him. And then the next day he sent him meat, he sent him wine, he sent him matzah, he sent him everything, right? Everything that he needed for the night of Pesach. So they asked him, whoa, why are you sending him so many things? He says, listen, this person is coming and he's asking, am I going to be Yotzei Mitzvah with milk? You know what that means? That means he doesn't have anything. Obviously he doesn't have meat, right? Because if he had meat, how would he have milk? For the 4 cups. So he has nothing, this person. That's the Beis HaLevi for you, right? That's how Adam Gadol. Person comes and asks, he understands, how deep that question goes. If someone is asking you, definitely, this person has other needs, has things, and you need to pay attention to the other person's needs. And it's incredible how many different ways we have the ability to help other people, right? There is genius in learning Torah. There is a genius in different areas in the Torah, and there is a genius in doing chesed, right? People come up with new ways how to do chesed these days. It's incredible. Like, there are a lot of people that are talented and they use their talents in the right way, by paying attention what people need, how we could perform chesed in the best manner, in the most efficient manner, and it's incredible, Baruch Hashem. You look around in the communities, different communities, they come up with so many different innovations in how to do chesed. Even if a person can't practically do chesed for the other people, but he could at least show him that I care, right? and that is that's also a great chizuk for another person, right? And that's true chesed. In reality, that is true chesed. Our Chachamim said in Gemara Bava Batra, famous Gemara, it says, "Kol hanoten peruta la'ani," whoever gives a peruta to an ani, right? What is that? He gets 6 blessings. They quote the pasuk, 6 blessings. And a person talks to them, makes them happy, right? He gets how many barachot? He gets 11 barachot, right? 11 plus 6. Not bad, right? But the second one was you didn't even give him money, right? That itself, that is so many barachot. And it's important. Anyone, like, someone, you see a friend, how you doing? What's going on? Why are you so tired? What's happening? It changes a person's attitude. You remember we had it in Olam HaKavod. We were discussing it when we were learning Olam HaKavod. Like, that person pays attention to that. It gives them that boost. It gives them that, I'm something. Someone cares about me. And if they do tell you that something is bugging them, just remember and ask them later about it. Like, it wasn't just a proper etiquette to say it. If Chas v'Shalom, someone sees someone in trouble, right? It's not enough to just look at the whole picture, right? It helps to pay attention to details, right? Chas v'Shalom, someone's child is sick, right? So a normal person, of course, he'll have mercy on the person. He'll have mercy on the child, right? But a great person, right? That was a normal person. But a great person, he's going to pay attention. And he's going to stop and think, wait a minute, this guy is going to have a lot of expenses, right? To take care of this child. And then he goes and talks to him and says, listen, how are you paying for all this? How are you taking care of this issue? I understand that you're in trouble, but then, like, there's a lot of outside things, there's a lot of little details that need to be worked out. Right? That's true Adam Gadol, right? And then he goes and finds ways to try to be able to help this person even more, even better, right? To help him come out of his trouble. And he gives an example. Sometimes a person has a friend that is not in such an easy situation, and he's afraid to say anything to him. He doesn't know what, because he doesn't know what to say. So number one, he should say, but think a lot what to say, right? You can't just treat him as if everything is fine. Not to acknowledge that he's going through a hard time. Can't do that, right? That's horrible, because he says, you know how many times it helps the person when a friend comes and talks to him like, soft, good things. And obviously, of course, each case you need to stop and think. It's not a universal thing that a person could do. In every case, go and bug the person. Sometimes there's what to say in this time, what to say different times. It all depends. He says there was a boy in the yeshiva that his brother passed away, Rahman al-Islam, and he had a lot of anguish from it. But his anguish was even more that his friends in yeshiva, they never asked him, how you doing, how you coping with it, nothing, for a whole year, nothing. They thought, what am I going to say, how am I going to do this, it's uncomfortable, and so on and so forth. They all behaved as if nothing happened. That's cold. That's very cold. You talk to the person, whatever person, a person needs to have others coping and helping him. Okay, there's a topic, it's called Noseh Be'ol Chavero. Literal translation, carrying the yoke of his friend. Right? His friend is under a yoke, and he goes and carries it with him. So what does it mean? What does this mean? This is actually one of the attributes that in Pirkei Avot, it's one of the 48 attributes of a person who could be koneh Torah through in the last chapter on Pirkei Avot. So he says he's a noseh be'ol chavero. Sorry. So he said, for example, a person got fired from their job, right? And he was in a bad situation. So he wants to go and talk to his friend. Reuven is his close friend. Tonight we have Reuven a few times. So Reuven is his close friend, and he tells him, yeah, this happened and that happened, and this is my situation. And Reuven is like listening, and he starts crying. He starts crying for his friend that this has happened. And then he says, you know what, Hashem should help you, Bezrat Hashem, and that was okay. This fellow, went to his another friend. Let's call him Shimon. Interesting. And he tells him the same thing. Shimon also listened to him. He says, wait a minute. He starts figuring out, okay, let's see how much is your expenses. Let's see what we could do, how we could help him. Right away, he starts thinking of ways how to help him, right? And even after he left, he's still looking, talking to people, trying this, sending a message like, by the way, did you call this person? Did you do this? Maybe they has a job for you, like that. Who has more mercy and pity on his friend? Second person, Shimon. Right? Yeah? Crying. Chazak Baruch. You cry once and that's it, gone. That doesn't do anything. The one that actually went out of his way, did whatever he can, and he tried to find the other person parnasah. Reuven, he was mishtatef b'tzar. He had what they call in English sympathy, no empathy. Right? He had sympathy for the other person, even though he was there, he was in pain, and he even cried. Yeah, it's great. Chazak Baruch. But these are passing feelings, seeing someone else in pain. But if he really had pity on him, he would work hard to help him. That's a very important yesod, right? It's a very important foundation that we need to recognize. It's not enough to be sad for a moment, right? When a person hears something. We need to feel the responsibility for the other person, right? As if, chas v'shalom, it's our own trouble, right? And if a person himself would be in this trouble, he will work so hard how to get himself out of this. Not only that, we would pray. So at least the person could do is to say, you know what, let me have your mother's name and I'll pray for you. Right? At least that. He says, "V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha," and the person can't think that, you know what, I do have pity on the other person. even though I'm not really trying to work hard. Yeah, I feel bad. I feel bad. Feel bad. Chazak Baruch. That doesn't. You're feeling bad. It's not going to help it. And that is what it means when we talk about noseh be'ol im chavero, carrying that burden, carrying that yoke, to recognize and to feel that his burden is also mine. Just like a person knows, understands, listen, my wife, my children, they need me. These are my needs. So too, every Jew is in the same boat, right? Interesting thing in Pirkei Avot. Hillel says, at the beginning of Pirkei Avot, Hillel says, "Keshe'ani la'atzmi, ma'ani," right? When I am for myself, ma'ani, what am I? So he says, if my ani is only me, then I'm in a very tiny world, right? If when that ani, that me, is just for myself, I live in a very tiny world. But when my ani, my me, it's not just me, it's everyone. That's a huge world, right? Everyone's troubles are mine. Everyone's joy and happiness is mine. I get very, very, very happy when I hear someone has it good. When something good happens to someone, deep inside, it's like something good happened for me. And when the other person is not having it so good, deep inside, it's like something happened chas v'shalom for me. The person that says lashon hara has to stay outside of the camp. Badad yeshev michutz lemachaneh, right? Moshavo. He has to stay outside of the camp, right? Not this week's parsha, next week's parsha, right? And our chachamim say, right? This person, he's separated, husband and wife, friends. He's made a separation. The Torah says he should sit separated. He wants to add to it. He says if a person says lashon hara about the other person, right? That shows he doesn't see that other person as a part of himself. He's not part of his ani, right? It's as if it's something separate. Midah can get midah. You feel that he is separated, you be separated, right? You need to be alone in your own tiny, tiny little world, right? So some people, they don't like to pay attention to other people's pain, right? It's not nice. It's not pleasant. Just tell me good things. He says no. It's not the right way to behave. He says something that's alive, right? How do you test to see if someone is alive? Someone or something is alive? You take a needle and you prick them, and if they go, ouch, oh, they're alive, Baruch Hashem, right? But if they don't, must be dead, right?
Sometimes they tell you that they don't want you in their business.
So you have to see, of course, 100%. You have to see. You have to test the waters. You're right. Sometimes some people, they don't like it because they know that some people, they're just doing it out of curiosity. They're not doing it to help. Or they have there are many reasons for this. Yes, you're right. So you have to test the waters. You have to see, ask around. How if you hear someone is having trouble, you need to ask around, find out how there could be help. But these people, if a person says, "Listen, I don't want to get sad," if a person's really health would be endangered, then for sure there's no room for that. But if a person just doesn't want to get sad for these things, that's not a good sign of being alive. Being alive, you feel someone else's pain. That's a sign of life, right? If a person opens up their heart to see other people's pain, right? It's a refreshing thing. It shows that you're alive, Baruch Hashem, that you're able to feel someone else's pain. And that's why when a person connects himself to other people to feel their pain, right? It opens up also a gate for their joy, for their happiness. Could you imagine a person gets really happy when he hears someone else has a simcha in their life? And he gets really happy. You know why? Because deep inside, he feels for them, for the sadness also. That's how it works. Okay. Wow. We became such a big Ba'alei Chesed. It's incredible. Okay. Maybe we'll finish it faster this week. Okay. A couple of halachot. I know it's Pesach is really close, and we were dealing with halachot of milk. That was the last thing. One point about milk: if a person is stuck somewhere where there is no chalav Yisrael, that means there is no milk that was milked by a Jew or under the supervision of a Jew, and all you can find is the milk that was milked by a goy. It's asur to have that milk, right? Only chas v'shalom if someone is sick, or if for little kids that if they really need it, we could be mekel and be somech that you know what, they probably didn't mix in that donkey milk into this milk or camel milk, and but otherwise a person cannot rely on these things. There is this thing. So honey, even though it comes out of bees, and bees are not kosher, it's we are allowed to have honey. And the Gemara goes through it, like we learn from Pesukim that the people did have devash. Shimshon had devash. Different Pesukim, and the Gemara says, what's the reason? The reason is because the honey is not part of the bee, right? It's not part of the bee. The bee just creates it, and it's there. It's not part of the bee. Like milk is a part of the animal, but the honey is not. There is what's called royal jelly. Have you heard of royal jelly? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. There is a lot of questions about its benefits or side effects of it. By the way, it's not even, nothing is proven that that it has any good nutrients. It's called devash malchut in Hebrew, right? Royal jelly. So some say that this is not your regular honey. This honey is from different. They gather the pollen from different flowers, different things, blossoms, and they turn it into honey. But this is not. This is made from the glands in the brain of the bees. That's where it's from. Yeah, believe it or not, it's a honeybee secretion. That's what it is. So they make it. They actually make it to feed the queen, the queen and the other bees, and they spread it. The bees, they spread it over the other ones. It's like whatever it is. But at the end of the day, nowadays it's very in. People use it. They use it for masks. They use it for eating. And it has a horrible taste. So what do? They mix it with honey. So that's the heter. That's the heter. The thing itself is really not edible. And one of the side effects, by the way, is like blood. A person could bleed inside. So it is what it is. But okay. So that's what we're talking about. Being that they mix it with at least 40 times as much, it itself is not edible. Therefore, it's not food. It's not davar ma'achal, and therefore most of it is actual honey. Therefore, it's mutar. It's mutar to have it. It's never eaten alone. Big poskim, Tzitz Eliezer, Cheshev Ha'efod, they all say this. Okay, let's jump from there to fish. Just that you know, fish. The Torah only requires two signs. It has to have scales. It has to have fins. And the Gemara already teaches us all the way from Moshe Rabbeinu that any fish that has scales, you have to know that it definitely had fins. Even if it doesn't have fins, you're looking for fins. There's no fins. It must have been there and fallen off. But if it had scales, so the most reliable hechsher on a fish is scales. If the fish has scales, it's great. It's great. It's kosher. And that's it to make sure. Now, how about fish oil? Right? A lot of people have a thing with fish oil. Is one allowed to take fish oil? Even though they say some of it is not kosher. The truth is, fish oil itself the ta'am is pagum. It's therefore, even if it's coming from fish that is not kosher, and especially if it's in a capsule, a person could have it. A capsule is not a normal way of eating something. And the thing itself is a ta'am or pagum. There is no ta'am. therefore, if a person really needs to, they could take it.
So if there's a kosher one and non-kosher one,
Then
non-kosher
definitely go for the
Better.
kosher. No, then definitely go for the kosher one.
just go for the kosher.
Yeah. If
They
you have the
to
choice,
100% fish oil. If not,
what else is it?
I don't know, they could add stuff in
I was thinking of this for pregnancy, they give this omega.
DHA.
I don't
Omega
know
3.
what it is exactly inside. But they say we used to not take it. Actually.
Yeah.
There is a lot of room to be matir. Yes. Okay. I mean, look, if a person could stay away from it, better.
So, if it says fins and scales, but scales is good, so why does it even say fins?
Oh, very good question. So the Mefarshim asked that. I forget right now. I forget the answer. I think was it in the Gemara that they asked it, or the Mefarshim there? I don't remember right now. But that's a very good question. Right? Yes. It escaped me. Okay. Now, just one more thing. Let's start at least the halachot about bugs. Being that it's this week's parasha Shemini, it says in the Torah, "Al teshaketzu et nafshotechem b'chol hasheretz hashoretz." Do not abominate your souls with all the crawling things. Sheretz hashoretz, v'lo titammeu b'hem, and do not become impure through them. V'nitmetem bam, and you will become tameh. The Torah skips the letter aleph in v'nitmetem. You could read it as v'nitamtem. That means you become closed off. The Torah is very machmir in eating these things, these insects or these things, more than even non-kosher nevelot, terafot. Imagine white meat. That's called ham, right? If a person eats one kazait, that's 27 grams of it, what happens? We give him malkut, one set of malkut. What is malkut? They tear the guy's shirt off and they give him with the donkey skin straps, they give him lashes, 1, 2, 3, very hard. And the Gemara says the person would rather die than get these lashes. He gets 39 malkut for eating one kazait of ham. If a person eats one water bug, like what's a good water bug? These little snails, right? And he gets 4 sets of malkut. 4 sets of malkut. How much is that? That's 156 lashes. 4 sets, right? That's 156. And if he eats like an ant, he gets 5 sets of malkut. That's 195 lashes. And if he eats the flying, mosquitoes, flies, bees, he gets 6 sets of malkut. That's 234 lashes. The Torah is extremely machmir. You see this? These are not even a kazait. These are tiny. And for that, a person gets. That's how much we have to be careful. The Torah says, "Al teshaketzu et nafshotechem b'chol hasheretz hashoretz," and they learn from the Pesukim that the Torah talks about different types of these bugs, and we should be careful. There are some things that contain these things. We have to be careful. There are some things that more. We have to pay attention.
If it's chopped up bug, it's